Here's the title: Trump is doing a great job and his critics are packing their pipes too tight. Ha! Okay, first, consider Trump's no bullshit crackdown on illegal immigrants. Trump is using every asset he has: the National Guards, the Marines, the FBI, and cooperating local cops. It's working too. He is freeing up jobs for Americans and sweeping the streets of migrant, arson, and looting gangs. Thank you, Mr. President. Second, Trump has pulled the plug on the purple gang bust out caper in the Ukraine. Trump publicly disrespected the little green rat Lazinski, and then Trump opined that Putin had good reasons to bomb Ukraine. Oh, wow, that's really backing up an ally. Good job. Trump has kicked NATO around until it looks like something the LAPD drug in, and NATO is now a dead duck without the USA cash and the USA military. The threat of a third world war over Ukraine has vanished. Thank you, Mr. President. Third, Trump is cutting off the tentacles of the CIA swamp monster. The USAID and the National Endowment for Democracy got the axe, so watch for more CIA cutouts being defunded. This is really sticking knives into the belly of the purple gang Z-litters. This alone is proof that Trump has not sold out. Thank you, Mr. President. Fourth, Trump is pulling the plug on the purple gang bust-out caper, also known as Israel. Here Trump is using the same trick he used to pull the plug on Zelensky. Disrespecting, what's his name? Netanyahu, I call him Netanyahu. Disrespecting Netanyahu and doing what he can to disrupt the purple gang tentacles around our throat. My prediction that Nutty is headed for the big house and Israel will soon be back on the USA leash. Thank you, Mr. President, and no war for Israel. Now, many of Trump's supporters have denounced him with words that one would normally not hear outside of a Chuck E. Cheese Saturday night party. Yeah, that bad. These crybabies all imagine that Trump would be some avenging angel of the Lord who would flog every liberal down Pennsylvania Avenue and return America to the crew-cut 50s, and all that within a week of taking office. Grow up, you whiny little teenagers. Trump has only a handful of friends in the District of Columbia, and he is like Hercules doing great labors all by himself. People are foaming at the mouth that Trump has filled his cabinet with Zionists and neocons. I think he promised to do so about 2 weeks prior to election night as part of a deal. Prior to the deal, the purple gangsters were instructing the lapdog press to keep predicting a Kamala win. Then they all did an instant 180-degree turn and conceded the election to Trump. The order of the deal, right? Okay, now, please note the following carefully. In almost all so-called civil wars and revolutions, the real civil war taking place is within the ranks of the powers that be, while the silly peasants think that they are focus of the war because their bodies litter the battlefield. The American Revolution is really a dispute within the ranks of the British landed nobility about the pecking order in the colonies. The young George Washington longed to be a British officer, but as a colonial rustic, he didn't quite make the cut. If George on the other side of the pond hadn't been such a brainless twit, he would have respected his colonial henchmen and prevented the Civil War, more commonly known as the American Revolution. And hey, I don't care that Trump is a bully. In fact, I'm all for it. George Washington was a slave-whipping bully, and Lincoln bullied the South with Sherman's scorched earth policy, and FDR bullied the Japanese into concentration camps. What Trump has in common with all these gentlemen is that they are all rational bullies, and they know when to hold them, they know when to fold them, and they know when to walk away, and they know when to run. This is why Trump will back down in any confrontation with Putin. On the other hand, Zelensky will back down on any confrontation with Trump, but Netanyahu won't. So I think that none of these enemies will slip him the dagger the first chance they get. Watch for it. They hate each other over in Israel, and there is an actual civil war going on. People are fleeing Israel and yachts to go to Cyprus. They're all a bunch of draft dodgers. None of them have the balls to fight for their goddamn country, and they want us to do it for them, so fuck Israel. In any case, we don't have to wait long to find out. Netanyahu needs an all-out war with Iran to save his sorry ass from life in the slammer for treason and corruption and mass murder and looking like a cross between Alfred E. Newman and a New York subway rat. So he'll try a false flag attack on the USA, perhaps sinking one of our aircraft carriers, and then blaming it on Iran. Now, here's the thing. If Trump plays along with this false flag, he is the greatest traitor since Benedict Arnold. But if he refuses to play along, then he is truly a great man and a great president. The time of decision draws near. As always, please support your local elected county sheriff. And thank you again, Mr. President. And be aware that I'm maintaining a playlist on YouTube named Doomwatch, DOOMWATCH, and another named CW2KIA. That's Charlie Whiskey numeral 2 Kilo India Alpha. The first of the list of interesting YouTube videos about our Civil War and the World War III, which is now going on, and it is updated daily. The CW2KIA playlist is a list of all CW2KIA so far, and it is updated as people are killed in our Second Civil War. I'll be creating YouTube posts, so watch for them too. I'm also stockpiling food and water, and you should be too. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to know very soon whether Trump is Benedict Arnold or worthy of Mount Rushmore. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you again in a day or two.